All right, so are you ready to go deep? Today we're taking a deep dive into the music industry with Choke. No joke.
Ooh, this should be good.
You know I'm right. Former Rockefeller insider, music video veteran.
Oh, yeah. Choke. No joke. He's always got the inside scoop.
Exactly. And in a recent YouTube interview, he dropped some major bombshells about Diddy Dame Dash R. Kelly.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to dig into this.
Me too. But we're not here for the gossip. You know what I mean?
Right.
This deep dive is all about, like, understanding the mechanics of power and fame in the music industry.
That's what I'm talking about, like what really goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and Choke, no joke, he was right there in the thick of it.
He's seen it all firsthand, huh?
He worked with these people,
Mhm.
saw their rise and fall.
It's got to be fascinating to get that kind of insider perspective right.
It is, and that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. He's not just speculating,
Yeah.
he's drawing from his own experiences.
His observations, too.
Like he talks about Diddy making a pass at him at a BT Awards after party.
Whoa.
Now that might seem like just a juicy anecdote, but
But it's more than that.
yeah, what does that incident and others like it reveal about the power dynamics in the music industry?
It highlights the potential for exploitation, and the blurred lines between professional and personal relationships.
Especially with these big stars interacting with up-and-coming figures.
Yeah, exactly. Like choke. No joke uses the term zesty to describe this kind of behavior,
Nasty.
implying that these hidden relationships are more common than we might think.
So it's not just about like individual actions, it's about a systemic pattern within the industry.
100%. And it makes you think, what are the consequences of these power imbalances?
Who gets silenced?
Yeah, who benefits?
And Choke, no joke, he doesn't shy away from naming names.
Oh, really?
He goes into some pretty shocking allegations about Diddy's bodyguard, Gene Deal,
What'd he say?
claiming that deals involved in gang activity and drug dealing with Diddy's knowledge.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and this is where the lines between the music industry and the criminal underworld start to blur.
This is serious stuff.
If true, it raises serious questions about the extent of corruption in the music industry.
The potential for violence lurking beneath the surface.
And this isn't just hearsay either.
Oh, really?
Choke, no joke, he backs up his claims with concrete examples.
Like what?
He mentions Gene Deal, admitting on tape to knowing about drinks being spiked at industry parties.
Seriously?
Yeah, and this directly supports Choke, no joke's claims about this dark undercurrent in this world.
Wow. That's a chilling reminder that the pursuit of fame and fortune can come at a dangerous price.
For sure. And speaking of dangerous prices, Choke No Joke also worked with Dame Dash at Rockefeller Records.
Oh, yeah. What happened there?
Well, he claims the Dame took credit for his work, refused to pay him properly, and basically pushed him out.
That's rough.
It is, and it illustrates a classic power play within the industry.
Explain that.
So Choke No Joke, coming in as a self-made individual with his own equipment and skills,
Right.
he's essentially exploited by a more powerful figure who takes advantage of his talent and contributions.
It's a story we hear time and time again, the little guy getting squeezed by those at the top.
Yeah, and it begs the question, how do you navigate that power dynamic? Can you speak up without risking your career?
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is, and Choke No Joke did eventually speak up. He wasn't shy about detailing Dame's lavish spending habits and how they contributed to his downfall.
Yeah, wasn't there a story about him getting rid of brand new Air Force Ones in Africa?
That's the one that really captures the culture of excess that Choke No Joke's describing.
It's crazy.
This isn't just about bad financial decisions. It's a deeper issue of values and priorities within the industry,
Appearances, right. Projecting a certain image.
even if it means financial ruin.
And what about the human cost? What happens to the people who get exploited or pushed aside in this chase for fame and fortune?
That's the question that really hangs over this entire deep dive.
It does.
We see glimpses of it in Chokenuffle, No Joke's own experiences and his observations of others who have been caught up in the industry.
Makes you think,
It does, and No Joke doesn't just stop at Diddy and Dame Dash.
oh no.
He drops this bombshell about R. Kelly and his ex-wife Drea,
Okay.
claiming that R. Kelly's letters revealed Drea as complicit in his actions.
Really?
Yeah, and suggests that she used him to advance her own career.
This is where things get really complicated.
They did.
We've got to be careful about taking sides or making judgments based on limited information.
I agree.
But it is important to consider the possibility that there are multiple perspectives here.
Hidden agendas, too.
Exactly.
It forces us to question the stories we think we know and to recognize there might be more to the picture than what we see.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on this particular claim?
Well, I think it's important to approach these types of allegations with a critical eye.
Absolutely.
Choke Chunch. No Joke's insights are valuable,
Very valuable.
but they are ultimately based on his interpretations and experiences.
That's true.
So we need to consider the possibility of bias and the potential for misinterpretations, especially with sensitive topics like this.
For sure.
And that brings us to another intriguing claim, Choke No Joke's theory about Kim Porter's book.
What about it?
He believes Kimora Lee Simmons co-wrote it,
No way.
pointing to those intimate details only someone really close to Kim and Diddy would know.
This is juicy.
It is, and it's a fascinating example of how individual narratives intersect with the construction of public personas.
It really is.
If Kimora Lee Simmons was involved in writing this book,
Yeah.
it raises questions about authorship control and shaping the perception of events.
It does make you wonder how much of what we read or see about celebrities is really just a curated version of the truth.
Right, and who controls that curation? Who benefits from certain narratives being amplified or suppressed?
These are questions that go way beyond No Joke's specific claims.
I think so too. It's about understanding the context,
Power dynamics.
the systems that shape the music industry and our understanding of it.
You're right, and as we continue this deep dive, it's important to keep those bigger questions in mind.
We will. So we've covered Diddy Dame Dash R. Kelly and touched on Kim Porter,
That's a lot.
but Choke No Joke also talks about industry blacklisting,
Blacklisted.
claiming that young Chris, a member of the rap group Young Guns,
Okay.
was essentially shut out of opportunities because of a photo he took with Rihanna.
What?
Yeah, this example highlights the concept of blackballing, a tactic used to exclude someone from opportunities within an industry.
Wow. So No Joke's suggesting that Jay-Z and Rock Nation use their influence to damage young Chris's career.
That's right, illustrating the power these industry giants hold,
It's almost like a secret society.
with its own rules and consequences for those who don't play along.
A secret society. That's a powerful analogy.
It is, and it makes you wonder who else has been silenced or sidelined for defying the unwritten code of the industry.
Right.
And that's where No Joke's own story gets even more interesting.
How
He seems to believe he's been blacklisted as well for speaking out against these practices,
Really?
for refusing to stay silent about what he's seen.
So he's paying the price for being a truth teller.
It seems that way, and it raises the question, is it even possible to change a system so deeply entrenched in these power dynamics?
Is change possible?
That's something we'll definitely explore as we go deeper. What other insights into Dame Dash does Choke No Joke offer?
Well, No Joke really gets into the specifics about Dame Dash's financial downfall.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about how Jay-Z actually had to step in at one point.
What did Jay-Z do?
He required his approval, like, for any Rockefeller expenses over $5,000.
Wow, why?
Because Dame was spending money so recklessly.
It's hard to even imagine that level of excess.
Right.
Like that story about Dame insisting on the presidential suite
In every hotel.
during a trip to Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah, even though the whole entourage could have fit in it.
Exactly, it's crazy.
Or how he wouldn't wear the same clothes twice.
What, just tossing them out?
Perfectly good clothes sneakers after one use.
It's mind-blowing.
It really shows the difference in values.
Between him and Choke No Joke.
Yeah, No Joke really emphasizes that self-made background, you know?
That financial savvy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got Choke No Joke, the entrepreneur who built his career from nothing.
And then you've got Dame, who embodies this culture of extravagance and like short-sighted spending.
And do you think that culture contributes to these power dynamics?
I think it might be a way to maintain that image, you know?
That's their dominance.
Even if it's not sustainable in the long run.
It's all about appearances.
Yeah. And No Joke seems to think so too.
He does.
He claims he knew Dame was going to go broke.
Just from his spending habits.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because No Joke also says that he never received a proper paycheck from Rockefeller.
Seriously.
He was basically working as a freelancer, just submitting invoices for his services.
So they were basically trying to downplay his role,
It seems like it.
avoid giving him the credit and compensation he deserved.
Another layer to this whole exploitation thing.
And it really makes you think about how creatives are treated in the industry.
Are they collaborators or are they disposable?
Right, and do they even have the power to negotiate fair treatment with these huge power imbalances?
It's a good point. What about that turning point No Joke describes?
When Dame had to come to him for help.
Yeah, when No Joke was producing Bitty's Rap City.
And Dame needed to promote state property, too.
Exactly. Suddenly, Dame needs the guy he's been refusing to pay properly.
What a moment.
It shows how fragile power can be.
How interconnected the industry is.
Totally. And Choke, no joke, doesn't hold back.
Not at all.
He calls Dame a sellout, a hypocrite.
He criticizes his attempts to launch his own network.
Oh, yeah, pointing out the irony of someone who blew his fortune trying to be a media mogul now.
It's almost like a commentary on the whole industry.
Yeah, this focus on image and reinvention.
Instead of genuine talent or artistic integrity.
And Choke, no joke, questions the authenticity of these public personas.
Saying there's a disconnect between the image and the reality.
He's not afraid to call it out even with sensitive topics like Dame's relationship with Aaliyah.
What did he say about that?
Well, he brings up Dame's relationship with Rachel Roy
Okay.
and claims they were dating while Aaliyah was still alive, that Rachel Roy was even pregnant during that time.
Wow, we have to be careful here separating fact from speculation.
Absolutely.
Choke. No joke's insights are valuable.
Very valuable.
But we should avoid spreading rumors or judging personal relationships without real evidence.
I agree. Let's focus on the bigger picture, the patterns of behavior, not the gossip.
Okay, so moving away from Dame Dash for a second.
Okay.
Choke, no joke, also mentions Adria English.
Oh, yeah. She's made allegations against Diddy, too.
Right. Does he address her claims directly?
He does. He says he doesn't know her personally,
Yeah.
but he believes a lot of what she's saying.
Really?
He estimates her claims are like 75% accurate, at least.
Based on his own experience?
His knowledge of the people involved.
So he sees a pattern.
A pattern that goes beyond his own experiences.
And this just highlights the importance of listening to multiple voices.
And considering that these issues might be way more widespread.
Okay, let's go back to young Chris being blackballed for that photo with Rihanna.
Okay.
Choke, no joke, really emphasized that secret club aspect of the industry.
That if you don't play by the rules, you're out.
You become an outsider.
It makes you think about what happens to those who don't conform.
Are they just pushed aside? Careers stifled.
Because they didn't fit in.
And Choke, no joke, thinks he's paying that price now,
For speaking out.
being labeled a hater.
Is it even possible to change a system like this?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Choke, no joke's trying.
He's not holding back even when it comes to Kim Porter's death.
What does he say about that?
He has this theory that Kim Porter's book, Lost Words, was co-written by Kimora Lee Simmons.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's a wild theory.
We have to be careful here, though.
Of course.
These are just theories.
And we shouldn't jump to conclusions.
Without more evidence.
But it does raise some interesting questions.
It does about celebrity narratives and hidden influences.
How much of what we see is really true?
And who's controlling the story?
These are questions that go beyond this specific claim,
It's about critical thinking.
especially now when information spreads so fast.
And it's hard to know what's real and what's not.
So what other secrets are out there?
Well, Choke, no joke, hints that Diddy might be in legal trouble.
Oh, really?
Especially now that Trump's back in office.
He thinks Diddy's past criticisms of Trump might come back to bite him.
He even says Diddy's scared to death of Trump.
It's a cynical take, but it does raise questions.
About the consequences of challenging powerful people,
Even years later,
it speaks to that interconnectedness of power.
the potential for payback.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder what other stories are out there.
From people who've seen what really happens behind the scenes.
What happens when the curtain falls and the illusion fades?
We might never know.
Maybe not, but the exploration is what matters.
And this deep dive has been quite the exploration.
Full of shocking allegations,
Insightful observations.
thought-provoking questions,
We've really gone deep into the music industry.
the complexities of power and fame.
The ethical dilemmas that come with ambition and image.
It's like a masterclass in critical thinking,
Questioning our assumptions.
considering different perspectives.
Recognizing the hidden forces that shape the stories we see.
And it all leaves us with one final thought.
If Choke's, no jokes claims are even partially true,
What does it say about the music industry as a whole?
what other secrets are hiding beneath the surface of this glamorous and often ruthless world? So it's like this whole game, right? You got to know the rules, you got to have the connections.
Then be willing to participate in that zesty network.
Exactly. And if you don't play the game,
What happens?
you get sidelined. You get silenced.
Made into an example.
Maybe even worse.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
And it makes you wonder, can real art even exist in that kind of environment?
Right. Is there room for authenticity when everyone's trying so hard to fit in?
I don't know. It's a tough question.
It is. Does chasing fame automatically mean giving up a piece of yourself?
And if so, what does that do to the art?
To the artist.
It's something to think about.
It is.
And I think No Joke's story reminds us that the music industry, it's a business at the end of the day.
With its own set of rules,
Power dynamics.
ethical
It's
dilemmas,
just like any other business.
and we have to be aware of that.
As consumers, as fans,
We have to think critically about what we see and hear,
and support those artists who are challenging the system.
pushing the boundaries.
This deep dive, man, it's been a wild one.
Shocking allegations.
Incredible insights.
So many questions.
We went deep into the underbelly of the music industry,
Explored power fam.
grappled with those ethical questions,
It's been a real lesson in critical thinking,
questioning everything,
looking at things from different angles,
seeing those hidden forces that
Yeah.
shape the stories we're told.
and we're left with this one final thought.
If even a fraction of what No Joke says is true,
What else is going on out there?
what other secrets are they keeping from us?